December 10th, the board that you were on voted for a closed session evening meeting at 7:30. That's how that 7:30 session was added to the meeting list, right, for tonight. And I always, when we had talked about talking about gun safety legislation, I said the first meeting that we would discuss it. And so I've always been really pretty consistent. I said we talked about it at the first meeting, and so I put a resolution at the first meeting. Not to overturn the December 10th, that's remaining in place as a constitutional county, but instructing our legislature who are about to go down and start talking about bills and enacting laws. I think it's time to put on our agenda today if we are going to do so.
Madam Chair.
Supervisor Baker.
I just want to say that Chairman Stewart did allow his fellow board members the opportunity to digest his original resolution, and then they later came to an agreement of a watered-down version, if you will, of his original resolution. With that being said, I have some concerns about your proposed resolution, and my concern is why I agree with Supervisor Canlon and Supervisor Watson as to why we should wait. There is no rush. We're not coming here. Our delegates have a vision. We're not going to work either. This is a serious matter. This is your resolution put forth to address mental health issues, which we all can agree here. We support mental health. We're law-abiding citizens who own guns. But what this resolution fails, which 80% of it is, it's about gun control. Nowhere here in your resolution do you dictate a plan as to how we're going to go about providing the mental health assistance that is needed in this county. So I think that it's only fair to the citizens that showed up here, to every member of this board, to allow enough time to digest the original resolution and to really come to a common ground. If this is really about mental health and providing additional services that this county needs, we need to talk about this. And we do not need to rush, and we certainly do not need to make our law-abiding citizens feel threatened that their rights.
Applies in the chamber during the meeting. I would just ask if you would abide by those rules.
Madam Chair, yes. Thanks. So a couple points I'd like to make. First of all, I didn't know that you had planned to take up this issue on the first meeting of the year. When I saw you at the menorah lighting around the holiday season, you said, we're not going to reverse your constitutional resolution. We may pass something related to gun legislation, but I don't recall you saying that you're going to do it the first meeting of the year. Regardless, when you called me to tell me that it was going to be on the agenda, I didn't ask you specifically, is it the afternoon? I knew that we had an evening meeting, and I knew that it was actually a board vote that we took like in November or December to add an evening meeting to tonight. But for all intents and purposes, we can certainly have an open session meeting, take up a Second Amendment vote like this, and then go into closed session to discuss security matters. Which, by the way, I do find ironic that tonight we will be learning about how we are protected while we're here in the board chambers. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that I personally didn't know that this was going to be something that the chair wanted to take up on the very first meeting of the year. When it comes to mental health, Supervisor Vega couldn't put it any better. We, of course, everybody wants to see dramatic improvements to serving citizens that suffer from mental health issues. Their families need it. And what I find really interesting, but typical of the left, very typical of them, is they jump to what they think are solutions based on emotion, and rather than take up time to do a study to really reduce gun violence in Virginia and improve mental health, in a special session last summer, they rejected any offers from the Republican legislators to take time to work together in a bipartisan fashion and find meaningful changes to our mental health system, additional funding, and possibly some changes to some gun laws that are existing. I personally don't believe that we just need to keep throwing laws on the books. Statistics have proven over and over that criminals do not care. Study result from what's called JLARC, and that's the Joint Legislative Audit and Review Commission. And this was specifically for mental health and how we in Virginia can improve our community services for mental health patients. And it's many pages long. And guess what, folks? This took our state legislators in Richmond 6 years, and we're still working and have a long ways to go for mental health improvements, especially the funding. And Governor Northam just announced in his budget that he's actually going to slow walk this a little bit more. It was supposed to be fully implemented by 2021, and we're learning that we got such high hurdles to clear and a lot of money to fund to really improve mental health, which we all know is the core of this problem. And it took them 6 years, but yet the Democrats want to rush to gut your Second Amendment rights, and that's what my biggest concern is let's slow this down. Let's tell our legislators not to rush to gut the Second Amendment rights and work in a bipartisan fashion down in Richmond and see where you can find some common ground and what's effective. And that's what my concerns are about this. I mean, red flag laws, I have learned more than I ever thought I would need to know about guns as a district supervisor. And I've learned what red flag laws are in Maryland and California. They are creating pandemonium, and in some cases, especially in Maryland, death. Yep. So I suggest that we slow this down and do it in a methodical way.
I'd like to take a call for a vote on whether we are going to continue this.
If I may, I have a question. I would also like to know if you sought the advisory opinion of our Weapons Control Committee.
No, I did not. This is a general resolution to put forth to our legislature about gun safety control and violence prevention. This is not a law that's being enacted. This is just a general idea that we're sending to our state legislature.
We don't bypass the planning. Madam Chair, if I may, we don't bypass the planning commission before deciding on land use cases, do we? Their opinion is the point I'm trying to make, and it seems to me that we have a lot of people talking that lack knowledge on gun safety. Right now to really allow all of us to have a seat at the table, to come together, to have open discourse, dialogue about this issue that's very important to the citizens of Prince William County and to the state of Virginia, and to send a message to Richmond that, you know what, here in Prince William County, we're putting aside party affiliation and we're working for the people of this great Commonwealth.
Yes!
That's what they were elected to do, and I trust that they will do that. What we were elected to do was to give guidance to, if we, excuse me, do I need to have you removed? For whether we continue until the next session about this resolution. A vote for yes would be in favor of tabling it tonight. A vote no would be would continue the discussion on this resolution.
Point of order. I don't think the chair can call the question. Madam Chair?
Wow.
Madam Chair?
Madam Chair,
can I just, I'm waiting for you to acknowledge me.
Supervisor Canlon.
Thank you. I just wanted to make one thing clear on what you're calling. That I'm not looking to table it. I'm looking to postpone it until next meeting. Well, normally tabling means you're just gonna put it there and forget about it. Postpone it until our next evening meeting, to give folks a chance to come in. And I'll tell you just kind of, I'll sneak in my comments now that I've started talking. But the thing is, we're not looking to determine the color of our county seat. We're not looking to determine some sort of procedural issue. We got this on our Second Amendment rights. We got this a few days ago. And you're wanting this board to come to an opinion on something that none of us, well, at least I don't think the Republicans had any advance warning on this or noticed that whether this was going to be the language. This is a pretty serious issue that we're taking an opinion on and sending our opinion down to Richmond. I think we can wait a week to give at least 2 minutes.
I spoke with county staff, I talked to law enforcement of Prince William County, I consulted the police chief. I didn't just do this in a vacuum, so everyone's involved. And so, at this point, I'd like to take a vote on whether we're going to postpone until next week.
Madam Chair.
Supervisor Lawson.
Thanks. What I would suggest, folks, I know that there's a lot of emotion out there. This is a very serious matter, a matter of high magnitude when we're talking about our Bill of Rights. But what I would ask is that you do respect the chair and not shout from the board chamber. That really doesn't help any of us up here. And I just am really gonna ask that you not do that. I find it disrespectful, and we do our best to deliberate up here in a professional manner. We certainly have our disagreements up here, but I would just ask that you not disrespect the chair like some did. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Lawson. I believe I'm allowed to call for the vote. I'm calling for a vote on postponing it until next week. A vote for yes would be to postpone it. A vote to no would be we continue the discussion tonight. Please vote.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, can you repeat what you said?
I said a yes vote would be for postponing it until next week. A no vote would mean we would continue the discussion and discuss the motion tonight.
Motion fails. 4 to 4. Supervisors Bailey, Hanlon, Lawson, and Vega voting aye. Supervisors Angry, Bodie, Franklin, and Wheeler voting nay.
Thank you. Would someone like to make a motion on item 10A? Do I hear a second? Supervisor Franklin, do I hear a second so we can discuss the motion? Second. Thank you. So we are now discussing the resolution. Who would like to begin?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So here we are. Thank you. Madam Chair, the show tonight. We got to get more professional in this. We do. And I know it's our first meeting. There's a lot going on. A lot's been said. Again, I want to stress 2 points. One is constitutional county is done, and that's there. 2 is we're talking. I know the word gun safety doesn't say a lot, and there's a lot of non-clarity in the resolution as it stands. I agree with that. I welcome that.
So don't push it.
But we have issues, and mental health, everybody agrees to that. And I've been discussing this a lot.